Stimulation Radio. Monday night love session. Check us out. Generation. Slow jams. Conversation. Late night stimulation. Call in. Love session. Love session. Monday night.
Hey everybody, good evening, good evening, good evening. Everybody out there in internet radio land, online news media. It's your girl Akila Trinae. You're tuned in to another episode of Love Sessions. That's Charles Handy, but first we're going to start with me. Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation gap between men and women as a means to combat the war on relationships. We cover the topics that are often overlooked, unmentioned, and outright taboo to shed light on our insecurities and idiosyncrasies as a way to humanize this thing that we call love, the experience. Our conversation is real, it's refreshing, and it's relevant. And you're guaranteed to walk away from a show with greater insight of yourself and the people around you. At the end of the day, we all echo the same sentiment. I need love. Class is now in session. I should better, honestly, because I wrote it.
Yeah.
But I still look at it, as a reference because...
Just in case.
So I can kind of keep myself on track. Even though it's coming in my head and I'm like, really? Do I really have it memorized like that? But I do. So normally I would kick it to Destiny, a.k.a. Sugarfoot. She is sick tonight, so I will do the honors of doing her portion. Our sponsors. Sponsorship, of course, is huge with any medium. But we have great sponsors, and if you're interested in sponsoring our show, Love Sessions, you can always email us at unationradio@gmail.com, and we can send you information on how to become a sponsor and what it takes, and we can work out a plan that works. We don't have the Aqua Hydrates here, but Aqua Hydrate is one of our sponsors, and the water is good. Because I drink it every Monday night.
Yeah, we used to drink it every day.
Right.
But yeah, we usually have aqua hydrates available tonight. But
I know you're busy. You
man, life is. But shout out to Sugarfoot. She's on my Instagram live, so.
She's
tuning in.
Hey, we'll get on my.
She
I'm
can't
on
do
Facebook
double live.
Right. She can if she has like a laptop and a phone. She can be on Facebook Live on her laptop. Shout out to you, Sugarfoot, and then Instagram Live with you. Another sponsor that we have, of course, I'm biased, is Revision Publishing. That is my publishing company, and I have a book out. And it's called Beyond the Hurt. And it's available on Amazon.com. The book is $15, and it's great. Even though I am biased about it, it is a really good book. It's set in Oakland, and it tells the story of 3 different families. If you've seen the movie Crash, which is kind of, I guess, old now, because when I ask my students, like, have you seen Crash? They're like, no, what are you talking about? But anyway, if you like that type of movie where you see different stories and you find out how they all come together as one, there's murder, there's love, there's betrayal, there's romance, there's all of that all tangled into one, and it's an amazing story, if I don't say so myself. So check that out, Amazon.com. You can also go on my website, revisionpub.com, and purchase it from there. Another one of our sponsors, Dear Zuri. And I just had an opportunity last night, to attend one of Tangi's events that she puts on under Dear Zuri. And Zuri means beauty in the Swahili language. And her mission basically is to heal, to uplift, and to empower women And the event that she had assumed the position last night was specifically about sex and relationships. And so we're going to kind of review that event and talk about some of the topics that were on that show. She will be joining us a little later on in the show, and that's when we'll be able to get into that. And so follow her on social media, on Instagram, dear Uzuri, Uzuri, if you were unfamiliar with how to spell it. So, social media.
Social media. So you can follow us on our social media platforms if you're into that kind of thing. So
you're into following and liking, you know.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Cam actually.
Right, but well,
he's not here.
He's not here. Yeah. He may not show up, but if he does, hey, great.
That's how it goes sometimes with black people.
Right.
No, not. It was just people. But anywho, what happened to the thing?
Oh, because you don't know it by heart.
Yeah. So you can follow us on at the letter U Nation Radio on Instagram, and then also you can follow us on Facebook. That's the letter U Nation Radio, and if you're on Twitter, then you can also follow us on at the letter U Nation _radio.
If you're a tweeter or a Twitterer.
Yeah, if you'd like to tweet. But I don't know if I don't think we even tweet that much, to be honest.
I don't think we do either.
I think just follow us on
But it doesn't matter. Follow us and wait for us to tweet. Or tweet us and we'll tweet you back. Right? Isn't that how it works?
We'll just Instagram us, I think. Town Biz. Shout out to my Instagram and my Facebook. People are commenting. They're tuning in. That's what it's all about, right?
It is. Now, show me how do you go live on Instagram?
Just swipe, and then you...
Oh.
There it is.
Oh, well, there it is, for sure.
So shout out to people who are tuning in. I know we're going to get into the subject. Just shout out to myself, because I was just at an event right now, the Fox Fall event that I covered. I don't know what it was. It was literally just like a party for Fox, and I just felt like, you know, it was amazing to be a part of it. I went there, saw Seth MacFarlane, took a picture with him.
Okay.
And it's on my Instagram at Dance Hustle if y'all want to check it out. But, you know.
Right. If you want to.
It was just a blessing. It was a blessing. I had a conversation with him, told him that,
live.
I was an Iraq veteran, and I listened. I actually got in tune with the Family Guy DVD box sets in my when I was in Iraq. So that was pretty dope. You know, he was like, "Oh man, you're a veteran, man. Thank you for your service." We cheers.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a good moment.
You said you cheers? Like,
it was like him and his homeboy. I don't know who he was talking to, but yeah, a lot of execs, a lot of Fox execs. I like being at bougie events, to be honest with you.
That's like, bougie.
I want to be bougie. I try to be.
There's nothing wrong with being bougie.
Like, I want to
like when you make it there.
Yeah, I try to be there, but you know, whenever I get to be around people that can change my life, just from one conversation, he'd be like, "Oh, Charles, I like you, man. You know, I'm doing this new show about Oakland. You want to, I don't know, like a cartoon or something, right?" And then like, and it's like, next thing you know, I'm the co-executive producer.
Hey,
so,
you got something going that you want to tell me? You executive producing stuff?
No, I'm just saying it's, you know, it's like you just
that's
sit
how
down.
It works.
Well, just saying, not saying that's exactly how it works, but you be around enough people, there's things that can happen.
Right, and it's a small world because, like, I was texting you about if you knew James, and he's like, "Yeah, you didn't tell me that you were on a radio show with Charles." And I'm like, I don't know when that would have come up. Yeah, to be honest, but
it's on our Facebook, man.
Well, I'm guessing that's how he figured it out because and a plug for him, his showcase that he's having on October 15th. You're a judge, right?
Yeah, I've been a judge I've been a judge twice already.
Yeah, but he said that. I'm like, how Charles a judge? Like, he don't know talent.
I don't know.
What I'm saying? Like,
I'm just in the. I don't know. I just honestly
in the mix.
Like when people invite me to stuff, I just try to show up.
Right. I understand that. But I've invited you to things you haven't shown up to yet.
Like what?
I went skating for my birthday.
You invited me?
Yeah. Oh, really? Shade. See, I guess my events aren't bougie enough for Mr. Revolt TV. So you all heard it live here, direct. It's recorded.
You invited me. Honestly, I couldn't go. It was something going on.
And when it comes to Akila's events, somehow Charles is
what
unavailable.
night was that? It was. It was basketball. I had a basketball game.
Yeah, but the game ended at what time?
The time where the skating was?
No. What time did basketball end?
I'm not going skating after basketball.
Well, you could have. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it's like to play basketball?
And also you could have just been there in the midst and just watched and just, brought your presence and your energy.
Yeah.
But hey.
Happy belated.
Who am I?
Happy belated. You're not self-inflating, that's for sure.
Right, exactly. I'm not Diddy. You know what I mean? We just share seats together. That's all.
Hey, but that's close.
Yeah, it really. Close. I mean, I'm sure if I invited Diddy, he'd come.
Would he? I don't know about that.
Okay, well, whatever.
But here goes the thing. Honestly, I don't want to paint that picture because I like to support.
Right.
But I just wasn't able to make it.
And we'll take that today.
Yeah.
I won't take that the next time.
No.
But I will say this. My point in bringing up James, I met him, which is funny, at Guitar Center. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, people.
See, look, I can hear you good. But
okay. I can't even really hear myself. But I met him at Guitar Center like a couple years ago. Just random. It was random. The whole situation was random, but we've kept in touch. And so he hit me up today about the event, and he told me that you were judging the event. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, of course, because I like to support events as well.
Yeah.
But I have a proven track. I have a proven track record of actually
to the
showing
Road
up.
James family. Just to me, I think it's dope because this. It's just like it's the talent show, and there used to be so many local talent shows back in the day that people could just sign up for and stuff like that, and just actually have the experience of performing live in front of an audience, and so that's why I liked it. That's why.
So, what type of I guess talent was there? Like dancers, singers,
there's everything, but
poets,
I mean
rappers,
it's everything really. Okay. Maybe not poets, but I think rappers. But it's just like people who are just trying to get on and they see like an opportunity. And I think to me, there's still a dude that be texting me, dang, shout out, what's his name? I forget his name, but Da Vinci. Anyways, this is the dude, Da Vinci. He still texts me his music. He's still putting out music.
Right.
But I met him at the talent show. And just to say, like, I met actually cool people, like, people who, it's not a lot of people who actually do talent shows. Talent shows,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, right. You don't really hear about it, anymore. Come on in, Cam.
So now you here.
Wait, we need like a ding dong sound, like ding dong. Somebody else has arrived into the building, just so y'all can see that I'm not just talking to ghosts or anything. Maybe you can't see him. Yeah, because this little thing is in the way. Oh, well.
He's going to be here earlier.
I'm sorry.
Cam is here. Shout out to those of you who joined my live.
Don't worry, man. Anybody that show up, like when who's the other dude here? No, I'm joking.
Oh, really?
Detroit? No, but anyway, when people show up late, I got to give them some kind of something. But we got to put that water away because our sponsor our sponsor is not here right this moment.
Look, this is how you fix it. Hold on.
Because of me. So y'all know.
There, that's how you fix it.
Because I've been kind of leaving.
Clear water. Aqua hydrate.
But yeah, all that to say is a talent show is a cool thing. It's a good thing for artists these days, especially that's on the internet, that mostly artists these days only engage for the most part, through the internet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like you put out music through your SoundCloud and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, doing talent shows, being critiqued by people, and engaging in live performance is a lost art. And I think it's cool that people are still keeping it alive. So I'm happy to be a judge. And I hope it just keeps going. Yeah.
That's what's
and
up.
we're judging together. So that's kind of ironic because it's not like we set it up that way, but it just so happens that we're judges. So that's cool.
Okay, so catch me up. What?
It was just
Well, we were talking about a talent showcase that is happening on October 15th, I believe, at the convention center. I posted on my Facebook page, so if you want to go to my Facebook page, Akila Trinae, you can see it. So we were just talking about basically how people don't really have talent shows anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's been a judge
twice
for this talent show.
I was late the
Row
second
Entertainment.
time. The second time I could not find parking to save my life.
Is it going to be at the same place that it was before?
Yeah.
So it's October 15th.
So you got to be there
2
early,
p.m.
honestly. You got to be there early.
Because it's downtown. And you got to find
all that
street parking or,
It's like you go there.
It's a beast.
You go there 15 minutes before it start. You ain't gonna get.
Well,
there
I'm gonna need you
till
to
the
be
end.
there earlier if you're a judge.
You're right.
Pre-plan, to be there on time. And if you need to replace him with me, I am available. I'm just kidding.
You're a judge too. You just
No, I'm not a judge.
I thought you was a judge.
No. I'm just gonna be a guest.
Oh. All right.
No. You're gonna be in the judge's seat. I'm just gonna be a guest. Chilling.
All right. I
watching.
thought you was judging.
Maybe next time.
Oh, all right.
Who knows?
Well, tell him to make you a judge. I guess I don't know.
Well, next time I want to be a guest first and see,
really? Just check
what
it
it's,
out?
what it's all about. Because hey, what do I know? I don't know how to.
Just dive into the pool. Dive into the deep end of the pool.
Right. So, okay, a lot's been going on in the world. A lot of it. I just know kind of like the main thing, and you all might have more insight. And yes, I'm being sexist because I don't really watch the NFL. I'm not really a fan of football to begin with. But no, what I'm saying is because I deferred to you as men. That's a sexist. Okay, follow me, Charles.
I got you.
Right. Because I know there are a lot of women, my sister included, who love football. So So there we go. I know you love football. Shout out to the Raiders.
Football? I never heard of it.
Right. I know you got a fantasy football league and all these other things. However, our president, I know people call him 45. That's kind of funny to me, but.
That's what they were calling. I've seen that on people's
right, like
45.
Right, 45.
You don't want to call him the president. Maybe we should do an introduction because you've been here before when I was in here.
Oh yeah,
we should do like
a
formal introduction.
Yeah,
right. There he is.
Hi, Cameron David.
Okay, and Detroit is here. Great.
He's locked out. She locked it up, and he's like, just walking up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, glad to be back. Hi to you. Hi to you.
How do you?
Howdy ho.
He's Detroit's replacement.
We're
I'm just stirring up the controversy.
Right, we're taking. We're doing a talent search for a new host to replace Detroit. Just kidding.
Oh,
having dreads is part of the requirements. No.
Yeah, man. I'm 4 years in. I'm loving it.
Right?
Yeah.
Survive.
4 years, that's a long time. Shout out to all the people with locks. You know what I'm saying?
I know I said the dreads. I know there's nothing dreadful. There's nothing dreadful about your hair.
Right.
So it's locks. Your hair's locked.
Yeah, I'll be 5 years in December, y'all. Y'all see this hang
time? Hang your
5 years. 5 years in December, y'all.
I just took my ponytail down, so I was like,
But when I see so if you guys don't know, Cameron David was a part of the team. He still is a part of the team because we still call on him, to come in and host. But we've been doing this since like 2013. And the funny thing is when we all started, we all had like short, locks. And so when I look at the old videos, it's like, dang, like
we've come a long way.
We have
added some color,
right? All of that, and don't even look at mine real close because I have a hair appointment tomorrow. So that new growth is out of control. I'm gonna let y'all see it. Out of control.
But yeah, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Of course.
Ready to get into the topic. Once this guy gets in here, and miss you guys.
Well, we miss you too, and we're glad that you're here. Like I was saying, just really quick about what's been going on in the world, and you all, I know you've heard about it because I know you're on social media. I know you might be able to give a little more insight as someone who is a fan of football. I don't understand why the president decides to involve himself in, I feel like, matters that are not really concerning him. I feel like he should spend more of his time worrying about the country overall. Somebody did point out, like, we've had these natural disasters going on. President, you have yet to really attend to those things. Like, you're worried about
still don't have energy.
Football and taking knees, you know what I'm saying? You should be worried about making sure that the country overall is sending, messages to the rest of the country and taking care of the matters that are at hand. You know what I mean? And leave it up to, everyone else, per se, to fight the good fight on. Or if you are going to say something that's meaningful. Well, not something that's divisive.
Our celebrity in chief, as I always hear from as Detroit walks in, just so y'all know. But our celebrity in chief is pandering to the lowest common denominator that we have in this country as far as politics go. This is his base at this point, where these people are like, these people are all about being a patriot or patriotism or all those different things. I just think that he just has a base. He has people that like that appeals to him, and he's just giving them
come
fodder.
Come on in.
To me, that whole thing was very much like it was just so political, but very intentional. Just like
right.
Oh, like he did a drop the mic moment. He called him son of a bitches. He said, "Fired." I'm a fired or something. Like, just got all animated with it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, like, you didn't even have the audacity to call now one of them Nazis a son of a bitch when they sitting there down.
They were exercising their.
He said he called them fine. There were some fine people.
Right.
That's what he said. He said there were some fine. So you mean to tell me, through these people who throwing up Heil Hitler, who doing Nazi patches, all this
white
supremacy, just evil stuff going on. Just like you're aligned. These people have. I was telling my boy this weekend, like, these people have literally aligned themselves with evil. Like, let me go down the history books. Hitler, Nazi swastika. I like that. Let me go ahead and wear that. Let me do the signs. Let me do all that. That's the evil stuff of history. So these people want to reenact that stuff, and you're saying, oh, these are some fine people. They done killed the woman, you know what I'm saying, and the crowd, but yet these people got fine people in their group. But the group of people that are protesting, mind you, you're not even addressing what they're protesting, the killing of unarmed people of color in the country. You're saying these people that are taking a knee are sons of bitches, and now one of these Nazi people, white supremacists, are sons of bitches. It's just like, this man is. You gotta look through the history. That's all I'm gonna end it with this. You look through his history. He's come from a long history of white supremacists, KKK, and hatred, and that's just the bottom line, and that's what he's about, and I don't know what else to say about it, but that's what he's putting out there into the world.
So then my question for either of you. Welcome, Detroit. It's his birthday. Shout out to his birthday.
Out to Detroit, so he gets a pass.
Today's your birthday?
Today he's 36.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Damn, you only 46?
Damn, we already in the Libras already?
Oh, wait a second. Oh, sorry.
Oh, right. He's a Libra.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even...
shout out to all the Virgos. Our season is over, and Libra season has started. So.
I wish them happy birthday on Facebook.
Virgo season is
and you liked it.
Right.
I always like to
said Virgo season is definitely over.
It's okay. We had a good reign.
Let us shine.
But what I wanted to ask, because I didn't ask, I went on my own tangent. As far as the players, the solidarity, the kneeling, as football fans, how do you all feel about these political, basically non-violent, silent protests going on during such a popular time of sports? And
I know one thing. I should have protested last night. The Raiders got whooped by the Skins, and I wish I could have just took back the whole game and never watched it. And I would have just protested that game personally. That's the first and foremost. But it's in prime time and all that stuff, so whatever. But also, I would say this too. Some of those people, for instance, Tom Brady. He came out and said that he didn't even know what was going on, but yet he's out now, he's protesting. Kraft comes out against Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, comes out against Donald Trump. And the Baltimore Ravens owner comes out against him.
Bashadi.
Okay, but these dudes gave this dude $1 million. Like literally, they gave him $1 million of their dollars.
Well, are they?
So they're protesting.
Can they change their mind?
They can. They can change their mind, but the thing is, they're changing their mind. Here goes the thing too. These are also the same people who didn't give Colin Kaepernick a chance, in Baltimore actually needed, him at one point. And so just to say they
definitely subbed out Flacco.
Yeah, so just to say Flacco still isn't fully healthy, you know what I'm saying? So they needed him, and so they can absolutely evolve, they can change their mind. But the thing about it is that people are saying is like, y'all didn't say nothing when Kaepernick was out there, but now y'all got something to say when he's because Trump is also telling them, look, don't watch football. If people are taking a knee, leave the game. Don't watch the game. Turn it off. So now Trump is also going against their pockets, their best interests. So now they like, wait a second, Trump. So now the owners is like, wait, Ray Lewis is out there. Ray Lewis is on 2 knees. Mind you, this is the same man
that's so wrong.
Ray Lewis, God bless you, bro, but you gotta pick a side, man. He ain't picking a side, and he keeps saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do that to the flag," and then next thing you know, "Oh, I'm trying to get Colin Kaepernick a job, but he's calling me a coon," and then he just back and forth. And Shannon Sharp, anybody would tell you that. Like Ray Lewis, he got to pick a side, man, and so he going back and forth. What's his name? McCoy, Shady McCoy.
I've been done with Shady.
Shady McCoy was talking about Colin Kaepernick, like, oh, he shouldn't be out there doing that. He should have did that a long time ago when he was better and this and that. Next thing you know, he out there doing the thing, stretching. He stretched. He didn't just get on a knee. He literally, while they doing the national anthem, he's doing his little stretches. So. It's a lot of hypocrisy. It's a lot of switching sides, and it's just bad.
So allow me to play not necessarily devil's advocate, but just not necessarily devil's advocate, but the other side of the coin, which is I hope for all the hypocrisy, as you stated, that's going on. I hope that people are now woke. To your point, it's like could they now see? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ray Lewis, Bob Kraft, Steve Bashadi, and all the other owners, Jerry Jones, all the other owners.
Yeah. Jerry Jones took a knee today too, right?
Yeah. All the owners that gave him, and the Jaguars owner, he was the worst. Although he took a knee too. But I hope that now you see. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be about what it's supposed to be about, which is the injustice for people that for black people and these indiscriminatory injustices that are going on. I always say, and I asked you this last week about something totally different. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I asked you that. When I asked you that was for a reason. Like, did you know when you was wrong? And you was like, no. And hopefully that these people...
Bring in my wrongness, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully these people that didn't understand that they were wrong now know that they were wrong. And I'll never condemn anybody for realizing that.
Well, they need to hire Cap because... I mean, look at some of these starting quarterbacks. For instance, the Bears, whatever his name is.
But they got to back up. Matthew Glennon, they got to back up. But
he's trash too. Well, no, he's not. That was a fresh round.
No. There are a lot of trash quarterbacks. Like Jaguars, they still need a quarterback. But to my point, like I'll never get mad at anybody that was wrong and then all
corrected
it. Yeah, it's like
that's what I'm saying. How did they correct? To me, there was people who was. Whatever, I will use your word wrong or on the wrong side of history, or they had they kind of have a different idea now with this whole Trump situation and him coming out. But what I'm saying is these people who, under their wrongness, gave $1 million to this man's campaign.
That's because they had it to give.
Okay. So then I'm saying under this rightness that this wokeness that they're now getting, what are they gonna do? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, they're going to take a knee.
That's to be...
No, that ain't enough. That ain't enough.
That's going forward if they truly woke. Case in point, Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan came out and said, I'm upset. Now, everybody gave a little token speech or whatever, and then they kneeled. Rex Ryan came out because he came out and spoke on behalf of Trump. This is a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And Rex Ryan's if you know a black white man, that's pretty much Rex Ryan. So it was kind of shocking that he came out and voted on behalf of Trump and introduced Trump at his rally. So when he comes out and says, you know what, he's disgraced me. Like when I voted or brought him out, I had no clue he felt.
You said
like
Rex Ryan said that today?
Yeah, on Monday Night Countdown. He he was irate. Like I had no clue that this man that I voted for was going to say this dumb shit, essentially, because now I'm associated with this dumb shit. And he's like, I stand for no part of that. The people that I know and love.
And the main thing that gets me, and it's the one meme that, it's a lot of memes out there about this whole situation, but it's like, dog, you come out and say there's very fine people after the woman that was protesting got killed. After these people is coming out here as dressed as Nazis in a war that we done fought already. You know what I'm saying? Talking about there's very fine people. And then you come out so strong and so animated in this thing to say and call these people sons of bitches. It's like, wow, bro. Like, that's just...
But even to that point, like, that doesn't... The bottom line to me is... Are you... No. The bottom line to me are the people that have power, that are in power, that can affect change. Are you now woke to the point of doing something to help make a change?
Something as far as what?
That I'm saying, that's all. To me, that's the part that's up for us as black people. And
because taking a knee ain't enough.
Right. And more importantly... Colin Kaepernick to figure out and strategically figure out. But as people usually say, especially Shannon has articulated, you can't have empathy until it comes to your doorstep and affects Shannon. And to Shannon's point, when it comes to cancer and breast cancer awareness month, white people are indiscriminatory about that because it affects them too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if a black person walks up to them and says, my mother suffered from breast cancer, then they'll donate to that because...
Yeah.
But they get
it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I said, okay, it's cool. I hope that you now walk into the people that's going to call LaShawn Uncle Tom and Ray Lewis Uncle Tom, to those people too. To me, it's no different than somebody that's a sinner now finding Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They've been sinning all their life. You know what I'm saying? Now that they found Jesus, you hope that they stay on the correct path because now they see the light. And that's all I can really hope for. And yeah, should when Colin Kaepernick taking the knee for what he was actually doing woke them people, yeah, but if they don't know a black person, then it doesn't matter. Again, I've sat with
those owners know lots of black people.
No, but knowing
the league is 70% black.
Look, knowing black people and it affects you.
You should know.
Things.
You should. If you're an owner of a team, you should know black people.
No, but if
100%.
you're still, no, because if you're still out of touch, I've met plenty of white owners. I met one of the white owners at Target when I was working. He don't know me. He know plenty of black people. I make him money.
But you got to have some like.
No, you don't.
These are people.
I know white people, and if I don't know this, I will never end my life because of bad credit or economic failure. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in their stratosphere of how it affects them. You know what I'm saying? So how being in the ghetto or being black affects me is not going to touch them the same unless it's personal, which is...
So they need a black girlfriend or something.
To my point.
Side chick.
So you watch... Do you watch First Things First?
Huh?
Do you watch First Things First?
No.
Okay, you might not be up that early. But... So Chris Carter and Nick.
Oh, that's right. The show. Come on, yeah, I'm not up there early. Yeah.
Right. So Chris Carter's black, Nick Wright is white, but if you listen to when this all started happening,
he young, but he got a 19-year-old son.
Right. So he talked about telling. He said he never had to picture telling his son, "This is what you're supposed to do when you get pulled over, or you're gonna die." And he said he never thought that he would have to have that worry about his kid not coming home, and now he understands it because guess what? He's married to a black woman. It
changes the perspective.
When his kid gets pulled over, so he just decided not to buy him a car because he doesn't want to put him in that predicament. Because you know what I'm saying? But
no, that's real. I like to see the young. Shout out to all the white. Our white brothers that have decided to marry and have kids. Yeah, our white brothers. But the thing is, they have a different experience. And they are they might be white as white can be, but now they got a black wife, and now they got black kids.
Right. So
and black problems.
Right.
Right, exactly.
So to his point, he dated plenty of women before, but he always pictured his kids being the same color as he did, which is not a problem he had to fathom. Now that his kid looks some type black, they're going to assume that he's all black.
And if you see my Instagram, this is interject for a second, but I literally was on the way to work, and I seen a white woman. She was in a Range Rover, got pulled over by a motorcycle cop, and she's like going back and forth. I really couldn't I wasn't going too deep into the thing, but I did see her at some point go back and forth, and then she pulls out. She goes to get her ID that's on the side of her little glove thing or whatever, on the side of her door, and I'm like, you see that? I wouldn't have did that. I'm not going to go back and forth with the cop.
Well, you couldn't have done that.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just saying, I just knew if I watched her long enough, I would just see certain things. There's a white woman in Hollywood in a Range Rover, and it's a white motorcycle cop, and he's not threatened by her. He sees her as a woman that maybe had a traffic violation or whatever, right? But their exchange is not going to be, what are you reaching for? You know what I'm saying? I'm reaching for my ID.
Well, I just want to say that there's also another part to... Hey. My mom's texting me.
It says, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, stop interrupting.
I want
stop
to...
interrupting.
You'll catch a whooping. That got you in trouble before. That got you in trouble before.
Right.
Me?
You was unhappy. He don't want to remember. He don't want to remember.
He put it on his mind.
Honestly, here goes the thing. And on a side note, before you say, don't forget what you're about to say. Look, I love that y'all watch the show. I want y'all to comment.
You want the feedback.
You know what I'm saying? I honestly, y'all the ones who get y'all the ones who actually get a say so to me personally.
Right.
Y'all get a vote. You know what I'm saying? You say, oh, Charles is doing this. Okay, I get it. Not to say I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing, but y'all the ones who watching it. My family don't watch as much. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But guess what? Y'all watching. I'm playing the game.
Hey, look. Don't you kill off? Don't you kill off the only consistent viewers that we got from day
y'all
one?
Watching. It's just
They've
like
been with us for 4 years. I don't need you to run them off.
No, it's just like watching TV.
Well, they ain't going nowhere.
It's just like watching TV. You be like, oh, hey, I ain't like the joke. Okay, well, guess what? It's sometimes you ain't gonna like the joke. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you just.
So what was you about to say?
Hey, and then we're gonna take a break so I can like.
That's real. Ain't no shade.
Well, what I wanted to say is the other part of it is that we as Black people also have a responsibility to, make ourselves accountable and our family accountable, our friends accountable, our community people accountable to the messages and actions that are being portrayed, out there to the world, because there are people who literally, so for me working at a high school, right? When the African American students do things, I see how it is received, and I see how the people respond to those actions. And without them wanting to, per se, every time, they create
A perception,
thoughts, feelings, and emotions about us, you know what I mean, that they carry outside of the school walls. So, and it makes me so mad when the things happen, like, if we act up. It makes me mad because I'm like, man, like, y'all, like, come on now, like, get it together. Not because no other culture or other race acts up, but it's almost like when we act up, it's the ultimate, and we just can't, get past it. You know what I mean? Like, for other cultures, when they kind of mess up, it's like, okay, we can forgive you for that. You get a pass. You know what I mean? But for us, when we act up, that's just how all you guys are. That's just how you are. That's just the way that it is. And that we're criminals and that we're everything else. So those things are embedded. They're embedded. And so when you talk about that experience that other people don't have, it's really because they're not viewed as criminals. And when you're viewed as a criminal, then people are going to respond to you in a certain way. It's no different than when students walk into a classroom and it's like, oh man, now I got these kids, or they walk into a hospital or wherever we walk into, a restaurant. You don't think that when we walk into the restaurant, it's like, who's going to take this table? So I just feel like we do have a responsibility. You said what?
They ain't gonna tip.
They ain't gonna tip, right. So then we have to go above and beyond sometimes when it's not even necessary, because if the service is really bad, you don't want to tip, but then you tip so you don't get seen as a non-tipping person.
True.
Don't nobody else got to go through that.
The criminal word is it's a bad word, and I'm serious because it's a damaging label. Just like when if you watch the movie Detroit.
I haven't seen it yet.
You warned us all not to see it.
Right.
I would warn you not to see it.
You talked me all the way out of going to see it.
It makes you mad.
Not just him, every other man I know.
Look, but it's one of those things where it's like the damn police coming in there shooting people, and then you testifying in trial, and they're like, have you ever been arrested? It's like, wait a second, you ask, what does me being arrested have to do with what I witnessed the police, the crimes that I witnessed the police doing? You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like that whole stigma of the word criminal. And if you watch, I'm sure y'all watched the movie 13, right? On Netflix. 13.
What's that? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So that it just shows you how damaging that particular word is in our English lexicon. And it's like, it literally just becomes, in that scenario, which I was saying, the woman that got pulled over, she has a Range Rover. She's not, the police officer, one thing that he's not saying in her mind is that she's a criminal, right? And if you got locks, you got the whole, kind of shaded glasses on a little bit, you get pulled over in Hollywood in the range, I guarantee the word criminal is coming.
Right.
Whose car is this, sir?
Yeah, the word criminal is going across his mind. So you decide to reach down for your license, because she reached down and she came back up with a liceness. But you get what I'm saying? It's like you reach down.
He wouldn't even give me the opportunity.
Yeah, you reaching down. Wait a second. What you reaching? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even something we get. And that's the parts. There's parts of white privilege that nobody will ever even see. Like the cop doesn't see it. Like, hey, it's just a woman. She's reaching for her thing. He doesn't see that this woman even has the privilege to even feel okay doing that in front of you. You get what I'm saying? Like she doesn't see it. I got pulled over by the cops. I'm preaching for my stuff. What do you mean? He shouldn't be.
That's normal activity.
Yeah, like he shouldn't be pulling out his gun and threatening to shoot me. So this is her experience. That's his experience. And then me as a black man, I'm having a perspective like, dang, this woman is just feeling freedom. She can curse him out. She can pull out her wallet. You know what I'm saying?
We also have a responsibility not just to teach, our boys or girls how to respond to the police, but teaching them how to be effective citizens in society. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like, I'm going to teach you how to make sure you can drive home and make it home, but am I also teaching you how to let's do things that will add to the community? Let's do things that will create a positive message out there. Or are we just saying like, no, just be careful when the police come.
Avoid.
You can go ahead and do your thing, but when the police come around, make sure that you do X, Y, and Z. Like, there is still...
We want them to make it home.
Issues that we have, you know what I mean, in our community, because the prisons are full, we know from the documentary, for reasons that probably they shouldn't be in there for as long as they should, or they could have paid a fine and got out. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there are crimes being committed by us.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying, they're just like...
No, and I know that you're not, but I'm just saying that that's the other part of responsibility. So when, those black people who are maybe not the kneeling type, you get what I'm saying? Maybe you can do something directly within your community to help and spark and make that change, because like I said, we have to change those images. As long as those images are still there, as long as anybody of any other culture outside of black culture can go out and see us acting a fool, then a lot of what they believe and feel is not just going to be a perception or a stereotype. It's going to be their reality, because that's what they experience. You know what I mean? So...
No matter how much you tell them different.
Break time.
Anyway, but yeah. So it's about that time we're coming back talking about everything in between. That might be a lot of things. That deals with sex, y'all.
Whoa.
We ain't got to choose, but this is Bodak Yellow. POTUS.
Oh, wow, that's number 1 on the Billboard.
Q, what's up?
She's
instrumental.
are back again.
That was the instrumental Bodak Yellow that just went number one today on Billboards.
Okay.
I know y'all bringing us back, but I just want to let you know that was Bodak Yellow by Cardi B. Just went Billboard. Just went Billboard. Just went number one on the Billboard. It actually did, though. And it was actually pretty historic, to be honest. So it was
they said that
the first female.
Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, since Lauryn Hill, which the first solo.
I think that's crazy.
The first,
to be in the
she has no, she's no features. The first female solo artist to go number one on Billboard, and since Lauryn Hill, which was like 20 or like 18 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. I don't want to say the years because I don't want to date myself because I was like. In like elementary. No, I was in elementary. No,
in '96.
No, I was like in high school or something.
You were in middle school.
No,
and you were in middle school. Yes, you were.
You were in middle school.
And you had graduated already, right?
In middle school?
No, it's okay.
I was in the 6th grade.
You graduated. You was in '96.
Mm-hmm.
I was 96. I was
13.
7th grade or something.
13.
Long time ago, but Lauryn Hill. Yeah. Anyways, but so that's a long time since a female artist solo hit the number one on Billboard.
Right.
So that's something.
Shout out to her.
She's a hustler.
You know what I mean? Doing her thing.
She started off.
You can't hate on that.
She started off in a strip club.
If you could actually understand what she's saying in that song, it's not as bad as what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I could never understand
because of her accent.
I couldn't get back.
Oh, she's spitting some real shit. Like
she's pretty decent.
Fix my teeth. I can pay my mama bills.
She's telling people she can go.
She did fix her teeth.
When she go see 2 pair of red bottoms, she don't have to choose. You know what I'm saying? She got that much money. You know what I'm saying?
She got that Bentley truck.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but she can't drive. She don't have a
no license.
No license. So I guess.
She making money moves. She's the boss. She don't get paid.
Shout out
she
to
pays.
you, Ice Life.
Oh yeah. Why you all in my text?
I mean, look, you all up in mine, so there it is.
You know, it's life, man. We got people that's communicating with us.
I know, and that's awesome. So shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube, who's watching on Instagram, who's watching on Facebook.
And any other
everybody.
thing.
So over the weekend, we'll just jump into it. Over the weekend, just yesterday, last night, I went to an event that Tangi hosted. It was called Assume the Position. It was about sex, love, and relationships. And so the way that she had it set up, she had like vendors upstairs. Really, it was a really nice venue right in L.A., you know. The venues that she finds are really cool. They're like open studios that can be used for, you know, filming or photo shoots and things like that. So anyway, it was a nice little venue. Upstairs is where all the vendors were. So I was upstairs selling my book. Whatever. And then she had a pole downstairs where the discussion was. And then she had some burlesque dancers that came and they danced. And it was a small event. And honestly, like with the time and the effort and stuff that you did know about it. We talk about it every Monday.
Yeah, we knew about it.
Charles, you were killing me.
We knew about it?
Yeah.
We knew about it.
Yeah. But as y'all heard at the very beginning of the show, he showed up to events he's invited to, right?
Reminder.
Right.
You didn't tell me all the details.
So anyway, the point of the matter is, it was a really nice event, and I feel like more people really would have benefited from the event. I was glad that I went, and those who needed to be there were there, you know, in essence. But what
so I guess I didn't need to be there?
Well,
a lot of more men needed to be there, which prompted.
Right. It was very... I think it was one male that actually came for the event. Like, there were other males there, but they were kind of like photographers and kind of doing some other things. So it was very female dominated. And I felt that was interesting because I'm like, well, with the topic being sex, you know, you would think that, you know, men would be interested. But then at the same time, I understand that it's also based on like conversation. And so men don't always want to have conversations about it. But anyway, she posted on Facebook, and there it is. Oh, no password. Okay. She said,
what you trying to say?
She said yesterday went amazing. But women dominated the audience. Men, is it always up to the woman to begin dialogue about sex? And that's the last thing that she posted on Facebook regarding the event, and I just kind of wanted to basically start there. Like, when it comes to the conversation about sex, and I'm like sex with your partner, or I guess with friends, or however you guys do it, because I know you're in a relationship, I know you're married.
Single.
Okay, you're single, so
I can say what the hell I want to. I don't know.
oh, are you still in a relationship? I don't know, because you don't have a password on your phone anymore. So.
Oh wow.
Why do
Just
I
kidding.
need it? I'm not you.
And what is it? How does that equate to us being single? I don't know.
Well,
Right.
it can go both ways, because I mean, if you're trusting in your relationship, then you wouldn't have a password. But if you're single, then there's no reason for you to
be
have a
honest,
password
well,
either,
that's true.
It depends more.
I've always had a password on
No.
my phone just because.
I'm
It
about
had
to say,
nothing to do with
it-
anybody.
you're a
else.
right.
secretive
Does
person.
your husband have your password?
Most secretive people are
It
going to
depends on
have
how much
a lock
content
on
I
their
have
shit.
in my phone.
How do you
know
not
what I'm
know that?
How much or what type?
What type?
Oh,
There you
we're
go.
having
There you
the
go.
same-
What type?
I wanna
Yeah,
listen to
you
them.
could answer me.
I don't know. I say I don't know because he probably does. You know what I'm saying?
Have a
I
lock
had
on
a
his phone?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if I got a lot of sensitive
Most
material-
men were going to have the lock on their phone. Just
I got a lot.
Just
Right.
because-
my wife has a password to it, so it doesn't. It's not like.
but you still
lot.
got a lot.
I got a lot, but I mean, she could get access if she wanted.
but maybe it's not for her not to get in. Maybe
No,
it's
Well,
for
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what-
My
that's what I'm saying.
password
That's what I'm
is because I leave my
It's-
phone.
right. It's for Gen
around,
Pop.
like at school. I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't do that because they might try and be like, "Oh, let me get this." But yeah. So if anybody just picks it up, they can't just go straight in it. You
Plus,
know?
I'm pretty open.
But anyway, back to my question.
I think that it can go both ways. I mean, depending on the situation. I think women you guys give subtle signs when it's okay, if you feel comfortable. So, and I think men can pick up on those signs. So, there may be if he's a very forward man, he may initiate the conversation, and some women, gravitate towards that. Some don't. So it's all in the person. But for the most part, I think most women will or would want to.
Oh, Tangi's here.
Perfect.
Well, I was gonna say the
Oh,
always.
you're done talking now.
Hey, you took too long.
The always is the part that I think that just sticks out to me, because when you talk in those absolutes, it just adds a bad context. So you say, do women always?
So let's take away the always. Do women have to initiate the conversation, the sex conversation?
No.
Or let me put it even
depends
another
on
way
what the
for you to answer
conversation
too.
is.
So when it comes to you want to have sex with a woman, this is not you're married. So we'll get to married in a second. But you want to have, or you can think back to when you weren't married. When you want to have sex with a woman, is it even important for a man to have a conversation with the woman beforehand, or it's just like, nah, we just doing
Yes.
I think it's important. Period.
Yes.
What y'all talking about? In that
Well,
Oh, right. Okay.
well,
Well, wait, go ahead.
Who's going? So I know which way to
Birthday. Happy birthday.
To the birthday boy. It's the birthday boy.
let me answer the initial question.
Okay.
First, and it was well put under the comment that I made, and the guy talked about he plain and simply said men are judged. You know what I'm saying? So he said if a woman's fanning herself about the latest calendar that comes out
hot
because
man.
of all the hot men are in it, it's cool. It's nothing said. You know what I'm saying? But let a male, you know what I'm saying, be talking about the latest hot issue, swimsuit issue that comes in, and he's looking at the woman's body, and he's a pervert. You know what I'm saying? So it's widely misinterpreted, for the stereotype of men and women. And the comment that I made before that was the parallel between with men in love and women with sex. You know what I'm saying? If you get deeper with men, you understand how much love means to them and how sensitive they are to it and how specific they are in choosing with someone to love. And then conversely, you'd understand how many women actually like and desire sex. You know what I'm saying? Like this girl put a post.
Oh, you're saying like you're like breaking myths here. As far as like men don't want love and women don't want sex.
Right. You know
Got
what I'm saying? But and when you get into
Very
it,
true.
So there was a post earlier today that said women.
Where does that come from though?
Stereotype.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said,
Societal stereotypes, meaning that men only want sex and women only want love, but there's
it should be switched around, like the
that women only want.
Not that it should be switched around, but there's exceptions to the rules, pretty much.
Well, to me, it really should be switched around. Like we innately,
I don't agree.
We innately, me and you are different people. You know what I'm saying? But I think me and you might be the exceptions to the rule. Not just me and you, but I think we're in the smaller variety. Like I think a lot of men, through innate physicality or physiology, whatever the word goes, it said, just get horny. You know what I'm saying? But aren't necessarily horny individuals. Like they aren't always looking for sex. Like there's more to them.
There's deeper connection. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I may be horny, but I really don't want to deal with you in that facet like that. I could turn you down. And then there's...
Let's get it on.
Right. You know what I'm saying? and then there's women. And to me, I think the process is just different in how we deal with things. We could have sex. We understand the bottom line that sex means nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want love. You know what I'm saying? Before they can give sex. Love to us is everything. They can fall in and out of love easier than we can, but them being the receiver, sex is hard for them to get over it easier like that. So they're a little bit hesitant toward it. So we'll go to sex faster because, well, it's fun, it's cool activity, and we can get over it easier than we can giving up love because love hurts us more. Well, for them...
Okay, go back to the conversation, though. The conversation of, having the conversation.
Well, I think it's important for everybody to have the conversation because, just as I wrote before, that needs to be on a per-person basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every woman is horny. You know what I'm saying? Not every man is horny. Not every woman just wants love. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, are you having a conversation with
Meaning
women
that some people
before you have sex with them?
Well, for me specifically, I have that conversation because of how I am.
Come on in, girl.
Come
Don't
on, sit
be
down.
shy. We're talking. You said,
you know what I'm saying? I make sure to have that conversation because, well, knowing me as a Libra, I can't not have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? I can't picture Cam not having some type of sexual conversation beforehand, knowing who he is. Like, look, this is kind of who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like
it's going to be a sexual.
Yeah, his Instagram likes, like, look, don't trip off who I like or what I post on my Instagram because it means little. This is just who I am. This is status quo. But that has nothing to do with me and you.
So Tangi is in the building. I've been talking about her all night. So this is Tangi, Dear Azuri in the flesh. We're talking about your event, and so what I did was I asked them a question about because there weren't a lot of males that attended the event. So I was asking them about initiating the conversation or the sex conversation or any conversation before the sex activity. And
that doesn't happen.
And so I'm asking,
I'm
asking them as males if they have those conversations, and then I guess what that would be like. I guess.
Well,
what are your likes? What are you? I mean, of course, you want to lead in with what's like, what turns you on. Like, what are you? Because you don't want to turn off the woman,
right?
The first time nobody's. And you gotta talk. Make sure you're talking.
My bad.
But the first time I think two people do it, they're not talking about it, right?
I think there's a discussion.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking.
I don't think.
Not a discussion like, are we about to do this? But you gotta see if a woman is open to it. Like, and that's what. But that goes back to what I was saying.
But I'm saying it's not like a dialogue happening. It's not like, oh, hey, I like this.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like her just saying, hey, yes, we're going to have sex, but it's like women will give off subtle signs or body language, that will say, hey, yes, I'm cool with this, or yes, I'm open to that, or
you gotta be able to read the tea leaves or whatever, right?
I don't know what that is.
Right? I'm like,
Yes, Charles.
I don't know.
Yes,
Honestly, no. Here's what I say. The reason I say that, just because I always think it's the most interesting thing that I've ever
Are you talking
observed.
about the Lion King?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to think back in my memory bank.
But just say this almost interesting dynamics between like women and men. The difference between like how we approach situations that we want. Like when women, I feel like when women flirt or they put out little like, oh, they look, they do their hair, they bat their eyes, all that stuff, right? But there's very few women that like are like, hey, what's your name? What do you know? Can I get your number? There's very few women, but guys
like forward.
But guys, when we see like we kind of exchange glances with somebody. You know, I'm just on the getting on the freeway or on the elevator or whatever, and I just like exchange glances with somebody, and I see a woman, they'll smile at you or whatever, right? But they won't necessarily like. A guy, if a woman that I'm attracted to does that to me, I instantly, my brain triggers into like, oh snap, I better say, hey, how you doing? You have a nice day, or I don't know, something like that, right? And then we engage in some conversation because I'm like, I don't want to. We had a thing. I don't want to just mess that up, right? But then women, that's not their natural inclination because they probably. It's not their natural inclination to just automatically go into some kind of...
They're just being nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're just
now,
like nice. You know
here's why I beg to differ. I think the inclination is there, but I think the rules are not in place for them to do such a thing. So, but I'll take this from the flip side. So, if I walk up to you, Tangi, and say, I see you from across the room, and it's like, damn, I like her. I want to fuck. You know what I'm saying?
And she smiled at you?
And I walk up to her and say, you know what?
Like,
I like you. I want to fuck.
Thing?
Now, she may think the same thing that I'm thinking about me. But because I said it, you know what I'm saying, that may send off other signals about other things that may not be applicable to the type of guy that she wants from me. So it's like, nah, I'm cool. Although we had the same feeling, the same inclination to say, or the feeling like, you know what, I want to fuck. But it means, quote unquote, so many other things.
Okay, but even let's say you take that scenario and you did that. Would you have a conversation with her before you have sex?
Now,
about what?
For the most part, right now, look, if the time permits, then yeah.
So most likely not.
No.
What
okay,
are y'all talking about?
if the time permits, so if it's a lustful situation, if I see you in the club and there's not a chance for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if this is going to continue on, you know what I'm saying, and this may be relationship worthy
after the sex.
So you only have a conversation with women that you want to have continuous sex.
That's the only time it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a one night stand, then we're gonna go for what we know, and if we're a chemical match, then we are. If not, then we not.
So you don't know anything. Well, I mean, obviously, I don't even know what I'm asking.
Well, I'm saying,
I'm not even gonna ask.
But that's the chemical part of lust. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, right. I understand all of that, but I'm just saying that
nobody's talking.
So now take it on the deeper level. When you get into a relationship, there should be a conversation had. You know what I'm saying? Even
How
if
long does it even take to get to a relationship? Most people don't even make it to a relationship.
okay. When I say relationship, I mean like me and you are talking. So if I meet you, dating, courting, however you want to put it. Like if there's a point where there could lead up to us having sex, then I'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So if I met you today,
so what are you saying?
So if
she's open to it, and that's what is, you gotta.
But does men usually start it, or is usually the woman that initiates the conversation?
I started one way or the other.
The conversation, but I still don't know what
is
being.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Conversation about sex and what are your interests and how many kids do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have any? When's the last time you've been tested?
Women will ask how many kids you have. Men will be thinking, when can we have sex? Like, or are you open to having sex?
Are men concerned about a woman having an STD? Or that just
I think everybody's
way back
concerned
here.
about a woman having kids, though.
Huh?
I don't think men are really worried about women having kids when they're trying to have sex.
They are.
Well, it depends on if they're trying to stay.
Yeah, they are.
Or if they, you know what I mean, they might walk away from that situation and become a daddy.
I mean, that
not
too.
Using protection, I guess.
That too, but
Okay.
To me, I think most men are always thinking about sex. Now, the point of how that conversation comes up depends on the woman. Case in point, I said I'm always thinking about sex, and I'm going to bring it up one way or the other. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to ask the question first. My job is just to disarm you so that I can ask the question. So if we're having a conversation and you're free flowing and we can talk, then I'll be blunt and ask you straight up, or I'll get to it sooner than later. Now, if through conversation, I understand that maybe you coming from a different angle, you need to know more about me. You're more of a evasive kind of girl or an elusive girl to the point where you're being protective and you want to feel safe before you have that conversation, then I'll take as long as needed. Then I won't jump into it right away because you won't give me your honest answer, or you won't answer it, or you will think that I'm something that I'm not. Because I understand that if we're all people and that's a carnal instinct, we want to have it. You want to have it too. You just got to get to a point to where you feel comfortable first. But not everybody's comfortable right off the bat. I'm always there. I just need to know if I need to get you there. So the sooner that you get there, the sooner we can have the conversation. But I think we're all always thinking it, especially if the national story out there is that a woman knows whether she wants to have sex with a dude when she sees him, then, and we know that, then we just know it's a matter of time in a matter of way of getting her to feel open to talk to us about it. But as the man alluded to in the comments, we can't just outright say things. And it's funny how it always happens. Why didn't you say that? This is what a woman says often. Well, why didn't you just say that when you met me? Well, because had I said that when I met you, it wouldn't have worked. You know that. True, but you could have just told me this a long time ago. Well, yeah, I could have, but I have to play the game so that we could get what we want. Because if you want to fuck me and I want to fuck you, but I don't play this game the right way, neither one of us, I don't leave with pussy, you don't leave with dick. Because there's a certain way that this has to go. You know what I'm saying? Because perception for you, and it even works against males sometimes too, where I know some very forward women that will come be forward and they'll be like, oh shit, she was a little too forward for me. Like that's a little weird. Like she didn't let me do what I was supposed to do, and I'm like, but that's what you wanted. You know what I'm saying?
I try to quote it again and say, I don't want it if it's that easy. So please me, but tease me, right?
Yes.
I always try to say it. But anyways, the gist of it is, he doesn't want it. If it's that easy. You know what I'm saying? He wants it.
Well, it depends.
But if it's that easy, wait a second. It's like,
it's the thrill of the chase.
You know, a little bit like they say, as the saying goes, it says, the bull, there's two bulls, and the son bull goes up to the dad bull and says, hey dad, let's go run down the hill and fuck one of them cows. And the dad says, how about we walk down the hill and fuck them all? Y'all don't get it. Well, look, the thing is, if you rush down the hill,
I think we got it.
Now I'm explaining the joke.
Right. So
look,
save yourself.
So look, I don't gotta save myself.
It was a good joke. It was not even a joke. It was a story. It was a good story. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't want to just rush down. You don't want to just be like the dude. Because the thing is, the women, yes, same thing as the dudes. Like Tupac was explaining about Tupac. Yeah, people, it's something inside of us. I feel that if a person's too on you too hard, we kind of instantly kind of feel like, dang, like, why are you on it? Why are you on it this hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, but if you get this kind of like, hey, if you're not doing nothing later, I would love to hang out. And you like, it's a whole thing.
But see, that's not all the way true. It's true, but it's not all the way true. Because conversely, somebody like you could be on somebody so tough, and they'd be like, no, I don't want to. And then somebody like Cam could be charismatic, suave, and act in a different way, and they get it right away.
Obviously,
you get what I'm saying?
It's all about where the person is at. But I'm just saying, more than likely,
no, it's about the person. It's about the like. So to answer your question, like you said, you quoted the Tupac lyrics. Me, I more so chase the moment. You know what I'm saying? So if the moment is conducive to that situation and it fits, then it works. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants a moment. Everybody wants the moment. And that's what we live in. Like, oh, wow, it happened like this. When you think about a story that you had to tell, it's about the given moment. And the only time things go awry is when that moment is messed up. If a dude was about to kiss you and everything was going perfect and you was receptive, he disarmed you, he made you laugh or whatever, and he went in for a kiss, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It just happened. It was light. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But if a dude was extra and his shit was whack, you know what I'm saying? His game was whack, his breath stank, whatever. It's like when he lean in for that same kiss at the same amount of time, it's like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not cool the way that happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so about the moment and how things go down and how things progress.
I mean, tomato. Because I would just say, look, I just seen things, and I would just say that, when you like a person, or this person is somebody that you feel a certain way about or see them in a certain light, whatever they're doing is cool. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, the jokes are funnier.
We're not talking about people that like. There's a lot of disrespect.
Well, I'm saying like meaning that's you feeling whatever they're doing.
No, there's a lot of disrespectful, arrogant people, and those are the people that have the most sex because that's what it's conducive to. The time that after my heartbreaks, where I was my most disrespectful, was when I've had my most freelance sex. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I was trying. If because I wasn't trying, it was because I was more angry, because I was more forthcoming, more disrespectful. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I know a lot of people that are a lot more arrogant than me, a lot more aggressive than I am, a lot more disrespectful, and just don't care, have a lot more sex than I do. Period. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what works for women. Period. So I was in Fresno. I was out of town. Sorry.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, boo.
In real life.
In real life.
So what was one of the questions that you asked that you could ask us men here?
We had a conversation about cum.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you the
What about it?
About head.
Okay.
I like how she's so poised about this.
Me too.
What was it? She's just like,
Listen to her talking about
So regal.
We were asking, looking in the eyes. We were talking about 69.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said something about seesaw. Do you guys know what seesaw is?
no, she was using that as a metaphor.
Yeah,
She wasn't
we was all
saying it
confused for a second.
she was saying like going back and forth.
like
Like
a
the
seesaw.
seesaw goes back, like it goes back and forth, but she was talking about going back and forth instead of being in a position during a 69, like just going back and forth.
So sitting
Instead
up,
of
sitting
being
there.
pleasured at the same time.
Okay, I'll just go. One of the questions I posted on Instagram is okay to swallow kids. So we talked about that.
It is, and that's one of the lessons that my auntie taught me a long time ago.
Oh, you answered that. What do you?
She
You sure you don't want to?
well, she told me that was the best.
You sure you don't want to let one of them answer it? Just saying.
No, I'm saying
Trying to give you
my
that.
auntie told me when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a very, my whole family is. If you just meet my family,
Sure you're
you
an
understand.
expert on this?
So we was, she was talking to my. I got an uncle Larry that I'm not really related to. I just call him uncle down the street, and he had a friend that dated my auntie. So when my auntie walked out, this friend hadn't been over quite some time. My auntie walked out, and she, says hey to this friend. He puts his head down, gets in the car, drives off. I'm like, wow, that was strange. And he goes, well, your auntie did a lot of strange things to that man. He's never been the same, or whatever. So I had a girlfriend at the time, and she asked me if we were using protection because she knew that we were having a lot of sex. Well, we had a conversation prior to that. And I was like, yeah, but condoms are really expensive. And she was like, well, swallowing is the best form of birth control. And I was like, excuse me? You know what I'm saying? And back at that time, and she was like, yeah, so I know it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's hopefully good for your skin and everything else. I know for me, once I see you swallow, I feel that much closer to you. Like, you did that for me? Like, wow, like you really care.
It depends on the diet, though.
What do you mean she did that for you, though?
Because there's so many women that are...
Some women like swallowing.
Some women do. Some women do. You know what I'm saying?
Each his own.
After the 34th time I get, that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They like the feeling of being in control of your nut.
And I'm never mad at that because I know when I'm down there, we like the same control. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a lot of women that accept that overtly. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I like some of the places that you go, because it forces people. There's so many people that have so many opinions about it, and then
I would personally prefer to hear a woman's opinion on this matter.
Well,
is that weird?
No, it's not weird.
No,
It's not weird.
Well,
I believe that.
Do you think? I mean,
would she? Okay,
she had the women's opinion though,
right? Because
But that was at the event. We're here now.
No, I know, but
and there wasn't enough men there.
So the point twofold. So
Gotcha.
I can tell you, some of the responses from the women was mixed. You know what I mean? Is mixed. Some had no problem with it. One woman brought up, which I think you're about to talk about, is like diet. You know what I mean? Because of things people eat. So I'm like a type of person, like I wouldn't call myself a germaphobe, but certain things it's just like it flow. It doesn't flow me. It bothers me. And like people do a lot of stuff and you don't even really know and then you sick and then you got these things going on and you don't know why. And I'm not saying that cum makes you sick and that you're going to,
because I thought it healed everybody,
some kind of disease, but you have to also understand that you are consuming, not you, but you are consuming, not the men's cum. Okay,
I got with you, but
okay,
his laugh threw it off, and Charles is extra, so you got to be specific.
I didn't even do anything.
You are consuming, right? Essentially, what people are putting into their body. You know what I mean? So there are toxins that come with it, and I've talked with one of my friends who works as a PA or whatever. We talked about just even some of just medical things that of course people don't think about. Like nobody's gonna be like, okay, what did you eat today? What have you been eating? What is your diet like? But if you watch people and they got all kind of stuff they put in their body, you know what I mean? Medicines and
so under the right circumstances.
Well, what I'm saying is that it was mixed. It was mixed.
I'm
but one
asking
of the
for
things
your review.
For me, I'm no.
Okay.
For what I'm saying is one of the women brought up the diet thing as far
which is heavy on people,
right?
On women's
and
heart.
so for me, that's what is in my head, like, you know what I mean, as far as that part. I'm not saying like, oh, you shouldn't do that or oh, that would be, but for me, just the idea of it.
Can't get over
and
that.
It doesn't mean that I may not be open to it, you know what I'm saying? But for me,
Gotcha.
like, that's first part is like, you know what I mean?
It's going to take some time, player. Tangi?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it mostly is just the diet. I would rather swallow than it's on my face. I don't want it on my face. I think that's nasty.
I like them both, though.
I think that's so nasty.
You like it?
Come on, man. You gotta really watch what you're saying. And
I'm talking to her.
I know, but you gotta, if she's saying, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like to swallow. I mean, I don't like it on my face, but I'll swallow it. You gotta say, yeah, I would prefer my woman.
No,
I would prefer the nut on my woman's face.
I'm thinking that we're smart enough.
Listen to what he's saying to you.
I'm thinking that we're smart enough. No,
there's
because
a way. It's all about delivery.
Time out. No, time out. Cause this is the exact issue, right? So
I know what you're gonna say, but it's
Bro,
like, but as I said, so look, I don't.
Look, from a
let me take out that drop.
You can take it how you want to.
No, we just gonna edit. Like I like it. we just gonna put that part, and it's gonna be completely taken out of context. He's just telling you to give context.
Okay,
to what you're saying.
but there's already context.
No, there's not, because you just literally just said something out of what you meant. You just said you responded to what you said in your own thing. I like it this way.
Okay,
that's what you said.
But that's a black thought. You know what I'm saying? That's a black thought. You know what I'm saying? If I'm talking to I've had this conversation with other people, especially other women, and it's never went that way. If I'm just having that conversation just with Tangi, and she says, she asks, we talking about swallowing. Anytime I go back and forth with her, it's going to be widely interpreted that I'm talking about me liking to come on her face and her liking to swallow my cum, not me do the same thing that she's doing. If I'm talking about,
why don't you just give it? I mean,
because it's unnecessary.
No, that's.
I'm gonna let you.
For the sake of conversation,
bro.
Look, you two motherfuckers. Y'all do what you got to do.
Look, we just saying, hey man, I mean, what do you like? That's fine. I don't want to misinterpret what you're trying to say. That's
Then
all I'm
don't.
saying. So that's fine.
I've already given you the precursor. I'm talking about it from the other opposite side.
All right. Great. Well, you like it.
I
love
personally like to nut on faces or other body parts.
Now, do you talk about that before?
Yeah, what is that?
Do you?
What is it?
I call it painting the canvas.
We're not
I
talking
don't
to
have
you
a
yet.
name for it, but it's just
We know what you like.
because I'm exploratory, so
Okay.
and I like to see the reaction. And
How's the reaction?
He like,
been?
what's that dude from Insecure?
Oh yeah,
Daniel.
we're talking about that too.
So
What
you
was the
Daniel,
reaction
huh?
like?
I mean, there's been different reactions. Like, I mean, like if you're in like a missionary, see, it's like because sex is fun.
It's a variety.
If you laugh during being nutted on, then you know that you're having fun. I feel like you're having fun sex. Like, I'm not getting nutted on, but there's squirts. But yeah,
Are they like?
See,
this
that's
is this,
context.
Are you like wearing a condom and you just take out? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I'm
No.
saying
No.
this is.
That's per person. Like, what?
That's too much.
I'm asking him. He didn't want.
I have a condom on, take it off,
And
bring it
then do
across
it.
the room.
no,
Let
ma'am.
me borrow your
Obviously,
face.
I mean,
I don't know.
if you're having
That's too much.
having the type of sex that I'm having, then you're gonna have somebody that you're
Trustworthy.
that you're trustworthy with, and
Hmm.
you've had the conversations.
Dang.
Like,
So that's what I'm saying. You've already talked about.
yeah,
Or you just
you've
do
been
it
with
and
that
you see the
person
reaction.
for years.
I'm a just
Okay.
do type of guy. You know what
So
I'm saying?
you wait,
What do you mean? Are you
just
talking about the nutting on?
yeah, but I just for
I mean, but when you're having
context
sex,
purposes.
you talk about stuff like
No,
so
no,
it's
no,
like,
right.
Oh, you gonna nut? You know,
Right, but
Yeah.
what I just want to put in context for that. Are you doing that with a woman you just meet, or does that come with?
There's sometimes that you will do that because
It goes there.
yeah.
Okay,
and,
I'm
and
just-
you can, and because it may not be somebody that you just meet like a one night stand, but it may be somebody that you've had a few exchanges of conversations with, somebody that you may have met, in
But what's the point
social
of seeing
networks.
it on a person's face? Because you still gotta wipe it off. Like she gotta go get a towel, wipe it off.
Well, they have to do that. You don't. It's not.
It's sensitive.
Well, I'm just saying. What do you mean?
At least I go get the towel.
God
I make
you
it
get
warm.
a towel,
too,
baby.
like-
Hell no, you do it.
That's
I
how
see
you-
why you can get rich.
But
out
I
there.
mean, it's
I mean, like, has it ever gotten in the eye?
yes,
yes.
hair,
Is it like,
ear.
well, hair
Nose.
is, but I mean the eye, And
I
it's
thought
like,
the weed.
I'm more sensitive about the hair than the
My
face.
eyes gonna be stinging.
I don't want you to
just
see
think,
it coming in.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
but
sorry,
if she
Issa
love you,
Rae.
she not gonna
I'm
trip.
sorry.
Wait, but love.
Yeah, hold on, player. Hold on. And love's got nothing to do with it.
Right, because
I'm gonna tell you
That's her.
I'm gonna tell you like this: if a woman can tell you within
Your foot,
the first
foot,
6 to
tapping my
10
foot.
seconds, or the first however that time period is, that if she wants to have sex with you, she knows probably within the first week or month if she has that capability of loving you. So if you guys have sex within that time period, she's gonna do whatever the fuck you want because she's in that blissful state to say, I'm with this dude. I want to show him just how down for him I am, and yeah, that's why. And I think for real, I think that's how women fall quickly or
that's how they
easily.
get messed up
Yeah,
in the head.
Exactly, because they're.
Is this scientific?
I'm over here.
Virtually.
I'm over
virtually.
here. Trust me, I'm over here spitting some real shit.
He about to write a book, y'all. He working on his book. He doing the field work now.
I really think that in that time period, that's where it happens.
Now, I don't know how long it is, but I feel the exact same way. So I'm going to ask. I mean, I don't ask much. I just do the majority of times, unless we've had a whole bunch of
Doesn't sound like consent.
unless we've unless we've had a whole bunch
I
of
just do.
right. Unless we've had a whole bunch of conversation, and she's so
So you're the type you just do something and just see what the reaction would be.
Shock value,
right. Unless I find somebody like Tangi, where like it's so candid. What I'm saying, you come saying,
I don't like it on my face.
no. but what I'm saying is somebody that outwardly out there talking about it like
She's
that.
comfortable. You're
you're comfortable.
You're very poised.
Because
like
what I've learned is the conversation of a lot of things
Oh.
is weird to a lot of people. Things that they openly do.
Women, yeah.
Something that they open, like a lot of women just don't like talking about sucking dick. You know what I'm saying? After 30, yeah, they don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? 35, well, they don't have a problem with it. But before, like, that conversation is uncomfortable for them. But they all do it. And it's like, dang, that's crazy. So the other thing, having a whole bunch of female friends is that they all want somebody to be, like, if there's such thing as an inner hoe, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want that. Now, for me, there's a certain time period. So if I don't do it within the first 4 or 5 times that I've done it with you, then I'm going to ask you after doing it. You know what I'm saying?
What? Do what?
Like, if there's something outrageous, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's something coming on your face or anything, like, if that doesn't happen within the first 1, 2, 3 times that I do it with you, then I'm not going to just arbitrarily do it after that, because now I kind of know something about you and something, your ins and outs have, you know what I'm saying, have kind of already been discussed or figured out. But to me, those initial moments, as he pointed to me, it's like giving head. Like, as he pointed out, reading the tea leaves. Like, you know when you're doing something right when you giving a girl oral sex. You know where to go based on her body movements and how she's reacting to you. Well, the whole sexual experience is like that. And to me, my window has always been, you know what? I'm a leader somewhere and it'll be progressional so that I can get in and out of it if need be. You know what I'm saying? Where it won't be something too traumatic, you know, and it won't cost me a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have a question. I'm curious to know for men, and because I was talking to one of the other ladies there just about hygiene. And when it comes to men and your personal hygiene, is that something that is important, you know what I'm saying, before you're engaging in sex, as far as, or is it y'all don't really care, it's just you know what I mean? And when I say hygiene, I mean like...
Are you trying to ask if we groom?
No. I'm not talking about... No. I'm not saying if you wash. Huh?
A woman?
No. I'm talking about men. I know for us women, they're like way hygiene. More... concerned about like hygiene, making sure, you know what I mean, you're clean everywhere, whatever. Yeah. But for men, I'm asking if that is a concern, I like just clean hands, clean, huh?
I said I just wouldn't.
I would.
I would.
It's paramount.
For all women.
Well, I won't, and you're right. You're absolutely right.
Everybody's personal hygiene or levels of personal hygiene.
That's very true. You know? So let me not say that all women are concerned about the hygiene. I know I am. So, but. And I know Tangi probably is. So,
but shout out to everyone who is, you know. But I just don't want to give everyone that same credit, you know?
Which is fair. You know what I'm saying? Because
there's levels.
Yeah. I just know specifically for women when it comes to hygiene, especially for a vagina. Like, you have to keep it clean. You have to be very, very careful with it because it's very sensitive. Right. Men, y'all stuff is not as sensitive as women's stuff, but. That's why I'm asking if it's a concern for you all when it comes to your own personal hygiene, as it may relate to or affect or have an effect on the woman that you're with.
I don't think we take it into consideration as much as they, or as much as you guys would like for us to. But just like as you said, I mean, our stuff is different, so
the maturation is a little slower. Like, to me, I think that's what. To me, when they say women age faster than men or mature faster than men, like, that's the part they're talking about. You guys can get pregnant sooner than it even matters to us. You know what I'm saying? Something's affecting your body's changing sooner than, like, when y'all body's changing, we don't care about y'all, really. We still sports, video games, and whatever weird thing else we into. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are down that road, and it's not until we really get into women, not literally, but really get in a woman's personal space that
even know,
to really matters. Because I have the worst sense of, I have the worst sense of smell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, literally, I smell gas, cologne, gas and cologne. Like, my house could be on fire, I would not know. Like, everybody here could pass gas and I would not know. Like, literally, like, just the worst. I've always been like I can have no sense. My nose could be clogged up, and I can taste everything that I eat. Like, it does not bother me. Like, my sense of smell, like, it doesn't matter. So my grandma,
I want to get that checked out.
Right, but my grandma, she was like, she told me, she was like, boy, well, you better make sure you shower 5 times before you deal with any woman, because you have no clue what you just did. Right, and
my whole my first lesson on personal hygiene was my mom was like, if you can smell yourself, then somebody else can, people can smell you. You know what I'm saying? That's like, that was the rule of thumb.
But if you can't smell yourself.
Yeah, if you can't smell yourself, then you kind of just got to have your own barometers or something like, time to take a shower. It's been, it's been 30, 42 hours. I don't know. You got to just have some kind of.
So it's big to me, but to his point.
Me, I think I'd be thinking about, like, honestly, if I could say in a perfect world, I would personally have sex like Muslims, I believe they do, where it's like y'all gotta bathe before and bathe after or something. I think that's how they do it, but to me, that's how I would do it in a perfect world. But
that seems pretty natural.
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. We can't. It doesn't always go down like that, but that's the level I like it at.
Well, that's why I just asked. I want to know, like, if that matters. Like, you're like, oh, okay, I know this is about to happen. Let me go clean my body. Or if it's just like it don't really matter.
Definitely if I come home from hoop, that's like already. But
if you sweating, like going straight from the gym to the bus.
Well, no, that happens.
That's not natural.
You said that's not natural.
No, I'm saying it's not the natural inclination for
it. If we're out on a hike and the spirit strikes, then yeah, but.
If there's a chance,
there's an option of me being able to get into the shower. Then we're gonna get in the shower. We're gonna do some foreplay, and then it's gonna lead to the bedroom.
Yeah. So because without a shower, to me, that cuts off any foreplay a man gets. There's no hope to that. Period.
Okay, I was just wondering.
But I will say, my wife's personal hygiene is what I like about her the most too. Like just as far as
shit, he had a wife.
I'm a seasoned vet, so y'all gotta understand that. 10 years in the game with my wife, so I ain't about to say nothing crazy on this podcast about my woman. So y'all ain't gotta had to take that deep breath for a second. But all that to say, that's what I like about her personally is that she does take care of herself. I come home, and taking a shower, so it's always like just that fresh sense, and that gets it going too.
So how important is that for you all?
That's a good thing.
That's a great thing.
No, I mean, I say how important is it? Like,
well, it's very important to me. You have to taste a certain way for me because I can't smell. So, like, if I kiss you, like, if I kiss your scent, like, that all has to taste a certain way because I know what the alternative.
So, does the person have to be vegan?
No.
You got to talk in the mic.
No, I just know what. I hear
My
you.
bad.
I hear you.
Can they be vegan? Like, if they eat pork, you're like, I can't kiss you anymore?
No, it's not like that. I'm just saying, like, I know what cleanliness tastes like. I have to focus on that because I can't smell.
But if they ate pork, would you be like, I can't kiss you no more?
Oh, no, I don't care. Do you? I mean.
But pork, like, I don't eat pork. So pork is not clean to me. So if you can taste
he likes
cleanliness.
Pork, so he doesn't. It doesn't
oh, you eat pork?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't eat it heavy like that, but I actually had turkey bacon this morning, so I don't even count.
That's not pork.
Yeah, I realize it's not pork. It's just
right.
I'm saying, like, I feel like I still eat
bacon.
pork. I just can't remember the last time I ate pork, but I don't think.
Pork.
I feel like I do though, but I'm like I can't remember the last time
bacon.
I ate it. Just miss me with the pork question right now.
I will say this though on the pork tip. My friend has a farm, Be Love Farm. Shout out to them in the Bay Area, and they was showing this video of them feeding the pigs, and they really like eat their own shit. Like, I'm serious. Like, I can understand why people. I don't know. I grew up eating pork.
I don't eat pork.
But honestly,
why are we talking about pork?
You don't want to brought up pork.
Yeah.
Because
Now we talking about why we talking about pork.
It's
Yeah.
based
No,
on
it was
her.
just-
But you went in deep.
example.
Yeah, I get
I
what you're
just want to
saying.
let y'all know about pork. They really
I get what you're saying.
And
pork.
shout out-
They actually
Okay, I'll
eat
give you
their
an
own
example.
shit.
So you guys know I'm
Don't eat
allergic to
pork.
chocolate, right? So I don't
Right,
kiss.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
kiss
no.
if
If
they
you
eat
don't,
chocolate.
hell no. Because I'm.
Oh, you can break out.
Well, I just
What if it's white chocolate?
That I don't mess around. I don't want to taste it because it's a
Chocolate?
Nasty, yeah, it's a nasty taste in your mouth.
Are you allergic to cheese too, or you just don't
No,
like cheese?
I just don't like cheese.
How do you
So
know?
it's just dairy?
So they
or
would
what
have
is
to
it?
like go brush their
It's just
teeth.
dairy in general?
So what do you ask? Like, or you just know because you saw them eating the chocolate?
Yeah, because you can smell it.
You like Snickers?
Like, don't come kiss me after you've been eating chocolate or, ice cream.
So it's all dairy.
You don't even like dairy. I thought it was just like cheese. You don't like dairy, period.
Well, no, not ice cream, like chocolate ice cream. Most people
Don't eat chocolate ice cream.
Man.
I'm surprised
Do
you
they?
like black people.
Cosmopolitan.
Right?
Teddy looking at you like,
Sherbet.
I'm just digesting this. I was getting ready to ask. Oh yeah, my bad.
Speaking to the mic.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
I was.
Don't swallow it.
I forgot about my train of thought. Dang, take it back.
Ooh.
He don't want it now.
He's like, what?
I'm not speaking to that, but
You guys are so like.
What?
I guess. Anyway.
She misses.
Anywho.
Come on. So
what's something else that came up at the podium?
Well, I know one of the things, and I'll let you touch on it. That I was actually surprised by.
Okay.
It was a lot of women who had been molested, and because of that, it kind of led to them. You said what?
The sexual liberation.
Yeah, early, and then the curiosity, and then confusion, and just a lot of things. Actually, I was really surprised by the number, you know what I mean, how many different women have been. And I don't know if it's just something that could be an epidemic within our community, that these things are happening and people aren't talking about it. But it kind of just leads to, because I think the overall, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, kind of theme of being able to talk about with the theme Assume the Position is just, the good and the bad with sex. And that how, different experiences kind of shape other experiences, the causes and then the reactions, where you can have the sexual liberation, but then, you might have children early, and that might be a situation that you have to deal with, or it might have come off the heels of being molested or sexually abused or raped in a previous relationship, and just seeing those themes and kind of how they play out. Most of the stories, they weren't like sob stories or sad stories like this is where I am and my life is messed up. A lot of the women had kind of come to a realization of this is what happened, this is what I understand about it, this is what I'm taking back, this is how I'm going to move forward, and then finding someone who loved and appreciated them and was able to kind of like love them beyond the hurt.
I like the segue though. I don't know, but that's a very interesting, because I had a very peculiar case going on, which was a girl that I was dealing with was molested, and so she took everything with her, but it made her feel so ashamed of everything that she liked, so she couldn't get rid of it. So you couldn't really just have mundane sex with her, because she had been exposed to something that was traumatic at one point, but at some point she took with her. Mm-hmm. So after either asking or actually going through, she would shut down, she would get depressed, and then when we finally had the conversations, because she went through so much judgment in her head, like, I'm not supposed to, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, it was so hard to deal with her for so long, because she could never really come out of it. And I never really had a problem, because I understood it, but she had no chance with herself, because she was like, the thought of it was literally depressing, and for her it was no way around it. She couldn't live without it, but she needed it, but it was also traumatic for her. It would take her back. It would take her back to the incident. She could never get away from the incident. She needed the incident
I know that Oprah says that when it comes to molestation, a lot of times basically people go one or two directions, and it's basically you either go like the spiral into like dive fully into sexual like it just turns you out completely, or it kind of just closes you in basically, and you just become this recluse kind of thing sexually. So a lot of, you know, her deal was that she
was both. I could do either or, but she was both. I didn't know how to. You want me to give it to you? No, you don't. But you do. Yes.
It was still traumatic. No. I did want to shout out.
I was going to say,
my cousin
has a comment or something.
So my cousin, shout out to my cousin Felicia out there in Maryland, and she wanted to give a comment on our conversation. So she says, it's very important to be comfortable to talk to your significant other concerning sexual acts between the two of you. If you do not know something or is about to happen, or you plan something is about to happen, or you watch in something. Sorry, I'm over here messing up.
I don't even see how you can see that.
I can see it, but you want me to read it? You want me to
watch what's going into your body, and make sure that you're clean. Of course, maybe it will be better to experience for both parties. So a better experience. So basically, she's just saying y'all need to talk, say what you want to do,
eat healthy, and
go down the same path together.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted
Mike and the mic.
Okay, my bad. One thing I want to touch on is when we have this discussion, it's like I've been having this discussion on social media, and men have been more open on social media, but then there were no men at the event. So I was just wondering, like, really why a man feels more comfortable behind the scenes rather than coming in the same space, because I feel like because there weren't that many men, that shows the disconnect that we have when we come to having the dialogue and the conversation. And then not only that, it's this whole, like, I mean, you get the half and half. You get half, like, women are starting to become sexually liberated, and that's great because there's this shift. But then you also get the old school that's just like, no, something's wrong with you. That's nasty. You know, like, you're just all of this. So what I just want to know, first question, one, why do you think, or what would make you feel comfortable coming out to an event in person rather than, you know, because, like, we're having the dialogue here, but that's here. But what about when, like, you probably wouldn't pay to come to no event like that?
I would say, honestly,
I would.
There's brothers out there that would come. I think that as you probably have closer, deeper connections to your core audience at this moment, just in this time, is maybe women, and that's who came to support your event. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's a lot of brothers out there, like, that will show up to an event to meet women, to talk about sex and sexual activity, especially if they know that they're going to be surrounded by women that are open about discussing sexuality. Don't let them be a couple fine women up in there too, because that's going to really bring them out. But that's just neither here nor there. But that's, you know what I'm saying?
So an add-on to her question is, what would she need to do in order to draw the men?
Well, I think
pictures,
marketing.
videos, because I think what she described when she was saying the burlesque dancers, the questions that was being asked, you know, I mean, it's a content-driven world. You know, people don't want to just see a flyer and just see, like, oh, this is gonna happen. They want to see it. You know what I'm saying? They want to actually be able to be like, and they want to, when they see your page or whoever, you know what I'm saying, who's sharing it on your page, they want to be like, dang, like, I really should have been there. When's it? And then the biggest question you're gonna get is, when's the next one? And that's just with throwing events. You know what I'm saying?
So PR is big.
Yeah, remember, I would throw events, my own events, from my own dime, just from my own passion for dance, and it was just like, to me, this event would be the biggest thing on the planet Earth. Like, it's like the return of Jesus to me. You know what I'm saying? But then to everybody else, they miss it, and you're like, dang, why didn't you come? Or then they're like, oh, I didn't hear about it. When's the next one? And then now your job as the event promoter is to create the next one and to create the consistency. And that's the thing, consistency. Just like this show that we're doing right here. I'm just gonna end with this, but just like the show that we're doing here. The thing is the main thing, if we don't have anything else, we got consistency. You know what I'm saying? And that's
here every week.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
they know where to find you.
They know where to find us, and they know when to find us. And we're gonna be here, and we're gonna keep this conversation going. And so every week, we're not gonna have the biggest guests or the biggest best topics, but we're gonna be here doing this same thing. And that's what people, you know, are gonna find when you continue to have those events.
Yeah, I actually liked it. I was like kind of nervous. I was overthinking it, but it actually went really good. I like the poll.
So I think the other thing is the encouragement from the women. That's a part of PR, to reiterate that it's okay to come out and answer these questions regardless of what the questions are. I don't know how you've always...
Well, as long as there is an environment, which I think you created.
Right.
And even with the last event that I went to, where people can have an opinion, whether you agree with it or not. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to do, is to be able to be in a space with a conversation and not criticize or judge somebody else for whatever. Because even if somebody is traditional, if that's what they want to be, that's what they want to be. That's fine. That's accepted, because we want to hear that. If you want to be liberated and you want to be free, that's great. That's fine. We want to hear it, because nobody grows unless you hear all the different perspectives.
Like,
I hear.
You know, I try to yell, so you know that.
It. You know, she extra loud. Shit.
Right.
That's good. That's good.
But you know,
we need you on the mic.
Right. So, anyway, I'm sorry.
Keep passing the mic back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you don't have anything to say?
Just as a rule of thumb, if you're talking on the mic.
But to that point, in the public forum that you do, it's really public. But you know how like there's room 21 and there's like 1,000 rooms. You know what I'm saying? And I know in room 21, any of the guys that were critiquing some of the more open-minded guys, the women would initially jump on the male or whomever was criticizing a man for being open-minded, or not just a man, but anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that allowed either that person or anybody coming behind that person know that, you know what, this is really a freedom of speech. Because if that person that was criticizing wanted to be a part of the forum for whatever reason, he knew then from that point on that he couldn't do such a thing, which is kind of the same thing. A man is not going to be looked at the same way. So if a man comes out there and says the wrong thing, it's far more detrimental to him, and not just the women that were there, but the subsequent women that follow, because women talk. You know what I'm saying? So I could say something that you don't like, but you're going to tell her. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to weigh heavily on what she is going to think, even if she's into it, if she cares about what you think. You know what I'm saying? Now, he could tell me something, I could tell him something that he don't like, or that I didn't like. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he liked the chick, he liked the chick. It's like that. But it's not like that for women. But it's not like that for men to women. So if a guy comes out and he's open, because I know you talk about eating ass openly on your forum. You know what I'm saying? Both ways. You know what I'm saying? So there's...
Oh, yeah, that too. We didn't ask that.
Right, so there's a lot of men...
There's a lot... get to that. How are women feeling about eating ass?
Whoa.
That's fine.
Like eating a man's ass? Yeah, that's what I'm...
Yeah.
Yes. Y'all understand?
I forgot to act.
It is beautiful because I saw her expression. She was like, yeah.
I was about to say,
smile.
I was about to tell. She said, please watch the tape back. Please watch the tape back.
That was beautiful.
A man?
That was beautiful. But
all right, guys.
Shit.
I'm glad I got that question in, because that was a great ender. That was a great ender.
Yeah.
I will say.
I know you asked about it. I know you asked about it on Facebook. I do remember you asking that, because you were asking like if men
finger in the butt.
like if men like that stuff. You know what I mean? If they wanted that stuff, and that's why I feel like,
because the thing is, when
some dudes ain't gonna want to be.
No, the thing is,
trying to sit down and have that
What sparked it was I was actually having a conversation
niggas gotta
about
be
the
like,
event. And the man was like, he want his ass eaten. And I'm
more
like,
comfortable
how many
with
men want
themselves.
it?
I think that's what it is. And the thing about it is,
everybody don't want to be sitting up here talking about finger in the butts.
True, because they're not comfortable with that.
Right.
Because they're not comfortable with. They're not comfortable with that. But it's like you have to. And that's where people start to they block themselves because they're too closed-minded. Right. Not to say that I want you to like it, or people want you to like it, or you should like it, but
so you're saying
people should not be afraid of conversation.
Open to
like
not
I don't
anything, but you're open to anything.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Okay.
Like I can sit in a group or a forum like when you're going back to what she's saying, like why are men afraid to come out? I'm one of those dudes that's not afraid. I'm gonna talk about it because
even if he's against
at the end of the day, whatever I talk about, the women are gonna be way more intrigued about me and what I'm into and are gonna flock to me more than a nigga that's I don't like fingers in the butt. Like nigga, that doesn't make you more manly. Like and I'm not saying that I'm not saying you. I'm not saying for you, but what I'm like that's not directed towards you. But
what?
But
go ahead, Sandy.
Touche.
I've eaten ass before.
But so look, even to my point, and that was the males you talking about, right? So look, even to my
See, look, now you quantify. I thought you said you don't have to quantify.
What am I quantifying? Anyway,
say that's males, right? Just for the record.
Even to that point.
Y'all invite me back? Can I
before Janae Aiko says the line "eating booty like groceries," there was a ton of women getting their ass ate that no men would cop to. You know what I'm saying? But
because niggas, it was taboo.
Right. So then it hits the waiver wire, and it's no different than a white woman with a big butt. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, now it's popular to have a big butt, and black women have always had big butts. Yeah, I see. So and black women have always done it. So when that happened, all of a sudden now it's cool, and nobody was doing it. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women going around putting fingers in men's butts, and it won't be copped to. I'm just saying. I'm saying there's more than not. I'm
like it.
Not just that.
Look,
let's not reduce it to that.
Judgmental comment. So
what
happened?
I'm not judging anybody who wants that. Nah.
Do you, boo? That's my.
I can tell you, my husband don't want that.
Not reducing it to that. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of people trying things that do different things. Yeah. Period. And these women aren't married to women. You know what I'm saying? They're married to men. So these women that are trying things, they're married to a certain somebody. You may not disclose. You may not disclose. Other married women may not disclose, but they're doing it to somebody, and these things are getting done. And or they have a curiosity to do it with somebody, which is more than likely a male.
I won't even ask because.
Tangi, final thoughts.
I ate ass before. I don't know.
That's your final
thoughts, Tangi.
I ain't mad at you.
Okay.
Do you like it?
Thank you for sharing. You said that twice. Like it's so but hey, wait a second. You wanted that message conveyed. So let us go deeper into that. What did you want us to know from that information? Because you said it twice already.
I'm just open. I'm liberated. To me, for me, I'm just a sexually liberated person. That's how it ended. I'm just a sexually liberated person. I grew up that way. My family's from Belize, so I just grew up that way. So it's just natural. It's natural to me, and so I just believe we should just liberate ourselves, but I don't think we should be shamed or shunned for it. And that's why I decided to host an event like this, because it's time to talk about it,
Right.
It's time to really talk about it.
No, you did it.
A real serious question.
Go ahead, actually. Hurry up.
Do you feel that way, like, if you were in a relationship, do you guys have, like, those open conversations, like, when because you feel emotions for human beings, period?
Well, yeah, the conversation is very important to have. Yeah.
So if you felt a movement of you wanted to step outside of your relationship, you would have that conversation. That would be open.
Well, I would have to have that kind of conversation. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That was your final thoughts?
Yeah.
Janae?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a final thought to say.
I think that people should be more open-minded and more liberated in the mind. Because, like, I mean, you know, everything happens in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. So if the mind is liberated, just imagine how far life, or how far you'll go in life, and, you know, the possibilities of where you end up. So that's my
Akila,
I just wanted to thank Tangi for the invitation to the event. I did enjoy it, and I enjoyed the other event as well. I feel like they are conversations that people don't normally have, which is always something that I feel like people should do, talk about stuff that they don't necessarily want to talk about, even if it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how you grow and how you get past some things. I think more than that, though, it was a great event for women to be able to connect, and so I was able to connect with some women that came to your event, and I needed that. So, thank you.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you get mixed reviews. Like you get the "What the hell are you doing?" and then you get the "Hey, yeah." And then I got the church folk too. So that was a whole different conversation.
Dance hustle.
Yeah.
I would say I learned a lot about my brother here. General knowledge. But no, this is what I would say. I think honestly you're onto something, and I think that people 100%, 1,000,000%, like people who are engaging with sex with each other need to also have a conversation about the sex that they're engaging in, which means sexual history, which means sexual preferences. You know, those things are important that honestly don't get brought up until damn near
It's too late.
It's too late or whatever. So,
oops.
Yeah. You're even on birth control or we're using protection. So all those things are extremely important, and I think these events, I think that you should continue that conversation, and I think that you should also maybe try to partner up with Amber Rose's Slut Walk, you know, that's coming up soon, and just see what kind of keep those conversations going, and maybe even lead to her being at one of your events, you know what I'm saying, at some point, because that's what she's about, and I think that you guys can meet each other somewhere down the road as far as
when is the walk?
It's coming up. I can send you the info because they invite us to it. I'm a member of the media, so whatever.
Well, I'll try to wrap up, put a bow on it quick. Don't want someone to accept you fully, and you have limits on what you want to accept them for, and that is per this conversation, especially in the bedroom. So if you're a woman and you have all these sexual desires and you want somebody to fulfill them, don't put a stereotype on the man that is to fulfill those for you, or if he understand that if he's willing to do that, he may be like the same mind of you and have those same type of requests on your behalf that may typically put you out of bounds with somebody that you may think differently of, because we're all people. So it's no different than accepting the LGBTQ community and saying you accept them QI that community, and then it's worse to even deal with a heterosexual relationship and say you're a part of that community because of something that you like and it's something that you want, but because they oblige, you know, it's the same. So sex is here for everyone. We're all carnal animals.
What was so you said you ended with a poem?
That was
just the final thought. It was just the final thought. That was that. But from
freestyle
from Tangi, the homie Cameron Dave, nice to see you again. Akila Trinae, Dance Hustle, pulled us in the back. I hear you. I am Doncho Detroit Hunter. This has been good tonight.
I tell all my
sex. Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Break it up.
When's that coming?
Oh, you didn't need, yeah.